Welcome back to the GSMC Golf Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done talking about the top storylines from the Travelers Championship. Moving on now, we have Charlie Woods to talk about another Wood in the headlines this weekend. Last week, Charlie Woods, helped coach his father in the 124th U.S. Open, and now this weekend he is able to qualify for a very prestigious USGA event. It is fantastic what Charlie Woods has been able to do in his career and able to kind of separate. It's going to be very difficult, and this will be a discussion we'll have later after I do give the news here, but it is going to be very difficult for him to separate himself from his father, but of course we will talk about that a little bit later. Charlie Woods will compete in his first U.S. Junior Amateur event after he shot 1 under for 18 holes at a qualifier at the Eagle Trace Golf Club in Florida. Charlie Woods was 3 over through 2 holes, but he was able to make his way back and was able to finish 1 under on the day. He opened his score bogey, double bogey, and was a little bit scared. He said in an interview after the round, there it is. I didn't play great my first 2 holes, but I played really good for the last 16. I just told myself not to make any more bogeys or doubles, and I took advantage of some nice birdie looks when I had them. Putting was my biggest strength today. I made a lot of putts when I needed to, sounding like his father. Charlie Woods is still just 15 years old, being able to qualify for the USGA Junior Amateur. You have the USGA Junior Amateur, USGA Amateur, and then US Open. So if you win the US Junior Amateur, you qualify for the US Amateur, and then you win the US Amateur or top 5 in the US Amateur, you go all the way up to the US Open. So you do have to climb the ladder to get there, but Charlie Woods is doing so at 15 years young. His father's son, man. Athleticism is a very genetic thing. We see it time and time again how legends of sports, are able to have sons that play very well. Most top of mind to me right now, you got Bronny James and LeBron James, of course. Bronny James looking to be a NBA draft pick in this summer. But another name, TJ Ginla, Jerome Ginla's son, whose name is in the 2024 NHL draft, could be a top 10 pick. And for Jerome Ginla's son, that is very impressive. And of course, you have to separate yourself from your father, and that's very difficult to do. But these guys are definitely able to do it. You also have a bunch of guys throughout football who are able to. You have Marvin Harrison Jr., who is Marvin Harrison, a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Maybe even better than his dad, and maybe proving that he could be better than his dad. What he did at Ohio State, I could talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. for days because, of course, I do go to Ohio State. I do have to talk up the guys that I support going to school there. But, yeah, for when you're a legacy player, when you are a son of an athlete or a daughter of an athlete, it is harder for you, and you have to prove yourself in different ways. And for these guys, especially Charlie Woods, it's one thing to be Marvin Harrison's son, it's one thing to be Jerome Ginla's son, because of course these are Hall of Fame guys, but they aren't Tiger Woods, right? Tiger Woods is, you can argue, and I say personally, he is the greatest golfer of all time. He definitely had the greatest peak in golf of all time. No questions asked. From 2000 to 2009 is the greatest golf anybody has ever played in history, bar none. So to be the son of that and to have those shoes to fill, man, it's difficult. And for Charlie Woods, that you're trying to do that. You're trying to fill those shoes. How can you? It's the problem I saw so much was I saw this, right? I saw Charlie Woods won the event. He was first in the event. Got into a USGA Junior Amateur event. Very impressive. That's something only a few guys can say that they did. And the first comment I opened up when I saw this post, I think it was on Instagram. I think it was like an ESPN post on Instagram. The first comment I saw was, he only shot 1 under? So? I mean, what does that matter? He only shot 1 under. First off, he won the event. Second off, he's shooting 1 over at 15 years old. I'm shooting 30 over at 20 years old, and I'm not Charlie Woods. I'm not ever gonna claim to be nearly half the golfer of Charlie Woods. But golf is hard, man. It is a brutal sport, and I get if you're playing it from literal birth, as Charlie Woods basically was. It does. I mean, things just come naturally to you. You have the best coaches in the world looking after you as well. You have the best clubs out of anybody in any field you're going to go into. You are already he doesn't have sponsorships already, but he probably has sponsorships waiting for him when he does play in this event, because it would be a televised event, and he will be the most watched guy in the event. But for Charlie Woods, I mean, he has to earn it still, right? He had to go out and earn it. I mean, we're talking about him because he's a good golfer, because he has the potential to be a great golfer. And I just think that the narrative that the expectations for him are already way too high. That's what I want to say. He's not going to be his father. Nobody's going to be his father. This is like when Gretzky's sons never played in the NHL, but if they were to, trying to compare it, like when are they gonna have a 215 point season? Nobody's ever gonna do that again. Nobody's gonna. I won't say nobody, because maybe somebody can. No, I'll say it. Nobody's gonna win 82 events in 10 years again. And it wasn't 82 in 10 years, but it was like 70 in 10 years. Nobody's gonna win 4 majors in a row. Nobody's these are things that we never thought were going to be possible, and then Tiger Woods came along and he held the world number 1 golf ranking for a decade straight, basically, and now there's the, you know, all the comparisons and stats of, well, to catch Tiger Woods' record at holding world golf ranking number 1, Scottie Scheffler would have to hold it until the year 2097. That's an exaggeration, of course, but I think it's like till 2030 something. He has to hold it straight, and then he would be able to get it. But these are unreasonable expectations for a 15-year-old kid. He went out and he won a USGA event, which is so difficult. He is the only one that shot in the red. Nobody knows how difficult that course could be. Maybe it is a very difficult course, and only PGA Tour pros can make it look like it's not. He had a great day, and you got to give your hats off to him. Now he's going to play in the USGA Junior Amateur event, where, you know, there are things up for grabs here. If you get into a US Amateur at 15 years old, man, that would be very, very impressive. The U.S. Junior Am will be July 22nd through the 27th at the Oakland Hills Country Club in Michigan. The U.S. Junior Amateur is one of 17 USGA championships being held throughout 2024. Another thing that Charlie Woods said in an interview after his round: it feels amazing to qualify for my first USGA championship. I'm excited to compete in the US Junior Amateur next month, especially somewhere as historic as Oakland Hills. Woods is one of 264 golfers who will play 2 rounds of stroke play at Oakland Hills on both courses there. This Oakland Hills Golf Club has hosted 6 U.S. Opens. It has hosted 3 PGA Championships. This is a professional golf course. This is one that these guys are going to get up for and very excited for to play on. And I can't wait to see a Charlie Woods who has so much potential, and really, I can't wait for him to get started on the PGA Tour, and that's 10 years out still. He's 15 years old. He won't be playing on the PGA Tour until probably 2030, and he's already got a name for himself. I'm excited for this young kid. Anybody that's trying to throw shade at him, I think just likes to, you know, bash on people. I don't know. If his name wasn't Charlie Woods, everybody would be impressed with what the kid does. That's all I would say about it. If his name wasn't Charlie Woods, you would be impressed. So I'm excited to see what he's able to do. I'm excited, and he has so much support behind him. You hear the cliche in sports all the time, it takes a village, and it truly does in a sport like golf, especially. You don't play golf unless you have a good foundation behind you, is what I'll say about that. And Charlie Woods has the best possible foundation behind him. So he won an event. Very impressed. And very impressed with such a young golfer. Excited to see what Charlie Woods is able to do with this opportunity. If he's able to go out in Michigan and shoot fantastic and able to claim a championship, work his way into a U.S. amateur event as well, would be so fun to watch. Can't wait to see it happen. But that'll wrap it up for our fourth segment of the night. When I get back for my fourth and final break of the night, we'll be talking about my picks and predictions for the Travelers Championship.